So what if I propose to you guys that Kingdom Hearts back cover isn't actually about the foretellers? There's so little details about Kingdom Hearts back cover that everyone is trying to speculate exactly what this is going to be about. Now a lot of people believe it to be a retelling of Kingdom Hearts Key and Unchained Key, but I think that logically it wouldn't make any sense for Square to make this move due to the fact that Kingdom Hearts Key and Unchained Key seem nowhere near being complete just yet. I mean, we haven't even gotten into the spark of course, the Keyblade War and what's exactly going to happen. So today I wanted to make a proposal to you guys and actually start to kind of mold the idea of what Kingdom Hearts back cover is going to be about before we get any official information, going off of plenty of pieces of evidence and some statements from Tetsuya Nomura himself. So before I actually start providing, of course, this evidence and of course these statements from Tetsuya Nomura, I wanted to actually give you guys my own personal prediction of who this could potentially be. Now, of course, we have two characters that haven't exactly been given any information on thus far. So, of course, these two characters are the Master of Masters or the Sixth Apprentice, the one that wasn't named a foreteller. But I'm going to be actually going into what his goal or what his mission actually was from their master, and it's gonna kind of, shut down all of the videos that I've made personally and everyone else has ever made talking about this guy potentially being evil. So before we get into the statements, let's go ahead and jump into the evidence, and then I'll support the evidence with the statements from Tetsuya Nomura. So as we get to see inside of the trailer, we get to see this setup that kind of looks like a heart that we get to see, of course, in Kingdom Hearts 1 in the beginning and in Kingdom Hearts 2. Now, if you know exactly how these things actually look from other representations of the same thing, of course, let's go into such examples such as Ventus's heart when we get to fight Vanitas inside of Birth by Sleep. We know that, of course, characters that have connections to other characters are represented as circles, while, of course, the character themselves that that the heart is supposed to represent is actually in a big full picture. Now, before we can actually say exactly why this guy isn't, or whoever this is, isn't on their heart, there's plenty of logical reasons why it wouldn't be disclosed, of course, in this video, and that's because in this trailer. And that's because, of course, they want to keep it secret exactly who this person is. Now, this could be potentially evidence of it being someone that's potentially connected to Sora, because, of course, as we know about the rebirth theory, that there is a lot of, repumping out of the same people. So we don't know if this person would look like Sora if they actually showed it off. And, of course, their clothes and stuff, their original look is what's going to actually be shown here. So it wouldn't be like, whatever clothes he was wearing at the time when they had this discussion inside of his heart, or when they displayed a heart. It would actually be a different representation. Now, another piece of evidence that we have is how it actually zooms into the middle, like as if it's kind of actually alluding to the speech of the foretellers not actually representing, of course, this being them inside of some type of mental state, some type of telekinesis and shit like that, to where they're talking to each other, but rather this is them in the heart of someone else. And we've actually seen this emblem before on the Tome of Prophecies. If we look on the Tome of Prophecies, we actually get to see this emblem that looks like it's the Keyblade with the heart sticking out of it, or Kingdom Hearts sticking out of it. So, of course, this would kind of hint at it being the Master of Masters. So now that we're done actually looking at the trailer for evidence, we can actually go ahead and look at, of course, Tetsuya Nomura's statements, which I'm going to be reading to you guys, and I'll also have projected on the screen for you guys, so that way you guys can read along with me or just read them for yourselves. So our very first pull from Tetsuya Nomura's, of course, statement is going to be this one, to where the question is, the five foretellers were the ones speaking, and Nomura follows up with, Kingdom Hearts X and Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key proceeds in the player's point of view, and there are the foretellers we don't know very much about. In back cover, which we had recently shown a little in the trailer, you can draw on the difference of their personalities and speculation between each of them. Maybe then we can glimpse the nature that belongs to each of the unions and question why were they thinking about that. And maybe this is where their interests become divided. Laughs. Now this is where he's kind of alluding to, of course, the reason why the Keyblade War comes to be. And as we get to see inside, of course, the trailer, they are actually talking about not being able to trust one another because of that missing page, which one of them is a traitor and they're amongst their midst. But I think I can actually pinpoint exactly who actually has this page when we reach the end of the video. So let's go ahead and keep moving. In our second pool, the question is: there are a lot of mysteries surrounding the foretellers, and their master deepens the mystery even further. And Nomura follows up with: in Kingdom Hearts X back cover, there is quite a turn of events for them. By the way, there was a black coated person in Kingdom Hearts X. Now, here he's talking about, of course, in Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, you get to actually see this person who's actually inside of the black coat that the organization members wear, and he's reaching out his hand to them. So we don't know exactly what that's all about, but we'll find out in the near future, which Nomura actually is telling us inside of this interview. But let's go ahead and move on. Next on our list is a pretty long one, so don't mind if I stumble a bit. Of course, just read it for yourselves if I mess up too much for you. But let's go ahead and get into it. In one of the recent updates inside of Kingdom Hearts X or Kingdom Hearts Key, the term Unchained was officially introduced and has caused quite a bit of speculation among the fans. Does this play a role in how you previously said that Kingdom Hearts X Key or Kingdom Hearts Key and Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key are not exactly the same game? And Nomura actually makes one of the biggest statements I think he's made thus far about Kingdom Hearts Key in general. He says, "I cannot explain this without any spoilers, but there is a connection between the two. Who is trying to do what will be depicted inside of Kingdom Hearts Key or Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, and the reason behind it would be told in Kingdom Hearts back cover." So once I get through with this very last statement, you guys, then we'll go into my speculation of what exactly is being alluded to. Alright, in Tetsuya Nomura's final statement, and of course the question that was asked was, "I definitely wanted to experience the feeling of Christmas. However, again, about Kingdom Hearts back cover, it is drawn from in the perspective of the foretellers." And then Nomura follows up with, "There is also the foretellers leader, the master of masters. The person Kiriti talks about is this individual being referred to as his master or its master." So, of course, that's all of the statements Tetsuya Nomura made that I found very interesting about this, of course, speculation. So, right after this, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up in speculation. So, let's go ahead and get into that speculation. Alright, guys, so after all of those statements and after all of that evidence, I definitely think that it can't be argued that the person that we're actually getting this perspective from inside of the Kingdom Hearts, of course, back cover trailers, that this person is not the foretellers. This person is not one of them. This person does not belong to them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be represented in the way they're represented inside of the trailer. So this could only make room for one or two people. Either of course, the apprentice, the sixth one, or the master of masters, seeing as their two inclusions will be added into the game. Now, of course, we know the master of masters, I believe, actually passed the Tome of Prophecies to, of course, his five apprentices because of the fact that he was either on his deathbed or he was probably getting ready to pass on the will. So we know that he's going to be included inside of Kingdom Hearts back cover, but I don't believe that this guy will actually be carrying us through all of Kingdom Hearts back cover, meaning at some point we will be passed down onto the perspective of the sixth apprentice. And the sixth apprentice, and why we all believe that he was evil, of course, is because of this black-coated figure. This black-coated figure inside of Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, the trailer, has actually led to a lot of speculation, such as Sora IM1's and Unification's The Truth video, talking about, of course, young Xehanort actually having the Book of Prophecies and the Tome of Prophecies, and he's actually doing the same thing that happened in Kingdom Hearts Recoded, to where you create a world out of from the pages of the book, and actually trying to use them to make, of course, his own members of his new organization. And that's a very good theory, and at the same time, I definitely believe that it could be potentially true. And if that explains exactly who the black-coated figure is, then we know that, of course, Tetsuya Nomura has stated that there is someone that he doesn't want to name right now that's trying to do something. And I believe that it is the sixth apprentice. Now, the sixth apprentice and his Keyblade is actually shown off in the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer inside of the Land of Departure, or in Cabletown. I believe that the Land of Departure is Cabletown, but in like an unrestorated state or an unrestored state. So, of course, if we take those two and put that into consideration and put two and two together, I think that the sixth apprentice was actually given a hidden mission to actually cover, of course, the foretellers' asses. Now, the foretellers are actually talking about this missing page, and this missing page is tearing them apart. This is causing a divide in, of course, trust and ideals for where they should take the future of their unions. And if that's the case, then this is why the Keyblade War is sparked. Now, of course, as we know from young Eric Ericus inside of the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer that it's their master's favorite story, of course, the story of the foretellers and how they came to fail. Now, if that Keyblade that, of course, the Sixth Apprentice potentially had is docked inside of that thing that looks like it's surrounded by Kingdom Keys, then we can argue that their master isn't exactly the Sixth Apprentice. But what if he's someone who tried to start his own union, secret from the foretellers' unions, to actually pick up the pieces when they actually fail? That would be a lot to actually take into consideration, seeing as, of course, the last page would tell of a traitor in their midst. And this Sixth Apprentice would actually kind of be a traitor to them in their own goals, of course, with them all having different beliefs and how those different beliefs actually tears them apart, even though the page does play a significant part into them all being torn apart. So what if this actual, of course, Kingdom Hearts back cover isn't actually about the foretellers themselves, but actually about the Master of Masters and him passing on a secret mission to, of course, his Sixth Apprentice, which then leads into, of course, the training of his apprentice, and then the training of young Ericus and young Xehanort, and then, of course, Terra, Ventus, and Aqua afterwards, and then this would all lead into, of course, Sora, Riku, and Kairi, and everyone throughout. So I believe that that's exactly what's going to be going on with Kingdom Hearts back cover. Let me know what you guys think. I could be off, and I may have a little bit of holes inside of my video, but I definitely believe that there's enough speculation and enough here to actually argue that Kingdom Hearts back cover will actually tell a story of a different perspective, not exactly the foretellers themselves, because if we're a part of the unions inside of Kingdom Hearts Key and Unchained Key, then what would be the point of also retelling this story, especially when the story of the foretellers themselves isn't even told? Now, as we get to see from, of course, or as we get to hear from the trailers, we will get portions where the foretellers will probably become the focal point of the story, but I do not believe that they will make up majority of the story, but instead it will be the Master of Masters and his Sixth Apprentice, because as Tetsuya Nomura actually stated, there is someone that's actually trying to do something, but he didn't want to name that person, nor what they're trying to do. So definitely he's alluding to someone that they actually have some type of connection to that would lead them into this whole thing of trying to destroy each other in each other's unions. So let me know what you guys think. This is being your boy Mazia. Don't forget to do a little A-class gaming, and everything you do, don't forget to keep it A-class. Go ahead and check out my gaming channel. Eventually I will be bringing you guys every single Kingdom Hearts game on that gaming channel sometime this year. I think it will probably be closer to March. So go ahead and go check that out. Go subscribe right now, because when I start, of course, I'm going to be coming full force until we actually reach Kingdom Hearts 2.8 and find out the truth about back cover. But this has been your boy Mazia once again, and peace the heck out. Also, don't forget to share and like the video. It's one of the main ways you guys can help this video out and get it spread out to as many people as possible. I want a lot of people to actually discuss what they think about this and exactly where do they believe that Kingdom Hearts back cover will actually take up inside of the story, and what holes will it fill in that Tetsuya Nomura is alluding to. But other than that, once again, peace the heck out and have a great one.